Hello and welcome once again, fellow gaming fans. This is Small Archangel talking to you from our medieval build here in Rising World. We have completed the smithy and we are going to complete our Carpenter's workshop today. I've just noticed that the roof looks a little bit weird because it's a little bit shorter than the rest of the place, but I'm not sure I'm bothered enough to do anything about that. You can see I've put some planking over the ends of it just to make sure that they weren't totally open. I've added a little bit more sort of wood timber structuring around the place as well, just to sort of finish it off. It's all very brown. And then I've done the windows like this, and I'll show you how I did that. I haven't quite finished this end one here. So we've got, use G for this, and we've got this down to its narrowest. We've got this beam down to its narrowest width. Up there it is, and then basically I've got one in the middle and then just three across like that. And if we really wanted to, I suppose we could also sort of, you know, they look a little bit too much like a prison window if you ask me, but you could also have them like that as well. And yeah, so there we go. That's our windows more or less done. So I'm not sure if I even put any window frames in these. I think we did actually, didn't we? And then I've just added to those basically. And I think these bits of timber that I'm putting there are actually a little bit narrower than the wood frames that are provided by the game, which is why I use them. And then I'm also putting a bit of structuring on the inside here too. As you can see, we've got a fairly comprehensively timbered roof here. It's a little bit dark in here, but I hope we're going to have enough light to be able to see this. So for this, I'm just going to finish this job off as well. Oops, to there, and we need this the appropriate thickness, which is going to be one thickness more than that. There we go. And then of course we need it to be longer as well, and we need it to be appropriate length, which can be difficult to judge. Just got to get the right angle. Is that gonna be right? Kind of hard to see. There, I think it needs to be a whisker longer, but I'm not absolutely certain. Let's just see what it looks like. If it's shorter, that's fine. Okay, so that's the right kind of length there. In any case, I'm making good use of my crowbar when things go a little bit wrong. And I think we have to attach to that end in order to make it meet up properly. There we go, and that finishes that off. And then I've placed in some verticals as well, and so we're going to do that. And these ones have to be sort of relatively full length. If I try and make it meet up there, does it go all the way down to the ground? No, it doesn't. Okay. There we go. Now it does. That's good. And then we're going to have to forego the one by the door. There we are. Because, yeah, the door's in the way. But I have put sort of a framework around the door and the windows as well, which I just think, you know, looks quite good really. I think it looks appropriate, looks the way it should. And that is the basic build is pretty much finished there. I've even got some wood beams left over. They're going to be useful, obviously. All of our buildings are going to have them. So what we're going to do today then, we're going to finish this place off. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make the flooring here. Now I've almost certainly not got enough of these to do the job, but this is the stone that we're going to use for the flooring inside. And then we're going to be placing our workbenches and a little bit of decor as well to make sure that we've got the place not only functioning as a sort of a carpentry, but also that's it, isn't it? Yep. Have I got any stone in my inventory? I do not. No. Okay, that's something I neglected to do before starting the episode. We've got a pig. I think the pig that was in our well is now... Oh no, we have two pigs in the... What is it with these pigs? There are two pigs in my well, and there's one stuck in the trough, the water trough in my smithy as well, my forge as well. So we've also got some iron doing there because we're going to need that to make our paper press with. I've got a barrel here which I'm basically keeping my iron ingots and also my raw iron in. And I am looking for something here. Oh yes. At the moment, all of our spare blocks are going in there. just because it seems a convenient place to keep them outside of here. I've already made a couple of workbenches there, saw bench and a normal workbench, which are going to go inside of it. I've got some dirt there, I'm not quite sure where that's come from or why I've got it, but there you are. Yeah, so they're going to go inside the carpenters as well, and as I say, some sort of deco stuff too. We're going to have to make a sign for the place as well. Let's see, I did come over for some stone, and I think I've put that in here. Oh no, I put it over here. So many chests now, and I've lost track of where everything actually is. There we go. So we'll go for the block bench that we have up here. We should perhaps have a block bench in our carpenters as well. We should perhaps have one everywhere, pretty much. It's going to perhaps be a little bit easier to do that. Okay, we'll make a couple of those. That should be fine. If there's too few, fine, I'll make some more. If there's too many, then, you know, again, we're going to... Yeah, there's too many, but we're going to be able to use them up elsewhere. This is a useful block. We're going to be using it for a few of our builds, I reckon, so that's fine. There we go. So there's our internal flooring. We've got a little area here which has got some sort of stone floor as well. And basically I'm planning on having that as a wood pile, a wood storage place. So I guess maybe we'll store most of our wood here. But what I'd really like to do is craft something that looks like a wood pile. I don't know how well that's going to go, but we're going to give it a try at least. I've got some lumber in here, but not a massive amount. Let's just drop off what we don't need, and then we'll get on to the next phase. Alright, so this is done. Let's turn it off and grab our iron ingots, which in reality would be far too hot to handle at this point and would have to be thrust into this trough of water. Not that it's got any water in, because we can't really put water in it. Okay, and we're going to turn those into iron plates, because I believe, and let's just get this straight, we need our crafting station, we need our press here, paper press here, and we're going to need 64 lumber, so we're going to need to make some more lumber, and we need 16 iron plates. Count them, 16. So let's make 16 of these, if we've even got enough, and we haven't. So whoops, this is why I made more. Okay, let's try that again. 16 iron plates, 15, 16, there we go. And then the rest of my ingots can go back in there. And then we're going to need lumber as well. But I'm also going to need, this is something else I should have done before starting the episode really. Take a drink, thank you. I don't get with these animals, they're very strange. Their behaviour is very strange. I think they seem to be attracted to my structures, whereupon they get stuck through them, which isn't ideal really. There we are, running out of apples. Go on, eat the apple. There we go. It's not rocket science. Yeah, and then we need some lumber, so we need to go to our saw bench. Well, pretty much anywhere but the saw bench, actually. Resources, lumber. Hello. Let's make a load of lumber, actually. I'll cut down some more trees if I have to. But load more lumber, that's not what I want to do. No. Bench is here. And then we're going to need to see if we can make our paper press. Yay, paper press. Okay, so there we go. We have a paper press. We have a saw bench and a workbench. I may put a block bench in there, but I'm not absolutely certain at this point. And then we're also going to need some, and I'm going to need lumber for that as well, I think. We're going to need some sort of decor items. What I'd like to make is a kind of a wood trestle type thing as well. So we've got some planks and no, we want this one. We've got some planks and things already, so but we're going to make some more. That's not right. Actually want a few of those. Let's just make a few of these for the moment and just see. We've got some already, but I'll make a few more. And then we're armed. Oops, let's get my spare ones too. There we go. And I've even got a door, look. I've got a spare door for the place too, which is good. And then we've got some little grills and some, I've got the odd sort of thing. In fact, let's take, oh look at this. I've got some spare benches in here already, which is a bit peculiar, but let's take these. I'll take that block bench, we may as well put that in there as well. And we'll have some of these storage receptacles too, because they're going to look quite in keeping. I think I was keeping them for the joint. Okay, so maybe the first thing we should do is place some lights, because it's really dingy and dark and I can't actually see anything around here, which is not, it's not great. We probably want some lights similar to these ones here. I've got one spare in here. I've got two lights actually. I've got that one which I'll perhaps put outside, and I've got one like that. And we can make those. The door gets slightly in the way there. It perhaps should open the other way. Lighting. There it is, and we need iron plates for that as well, of course. So we're going to need to make some more iron plates. I knew I'd get through that iron really quickly. Let's just make a few of those. Let's grab this and put that in here and set that going again. In fact, we may as well set both of them going. We've got enough to fuel both of them, I think. And I have fueled both of them up, so there we go. And I've got a little bit of that left. I will just take my crowbar back though, because we're probably going to need that. There we are. And now we need to make some more of these lanterns. I'm not quite sure how many, but again, we'll make 6 because we're going to need them again. We're going to need them elsewhere, so let's see. I'm going to place one of these in this wood sort of shed, as it were. Let's place it here. There we go. That's going to help somewhat on that outside. I might need a few more of those. And then we'll get our other lanterns. Press G. And we'll perhaps have one at either end. And then one in the middle. If there even is a middle. There isn't specifically a middle, but what we might do is just have to do that. Of course, what's more appropriate, would be more appropriate, is candles, but as I've said before, we don't actually have candles, so that we're not going to be able to do that. Okay, so we've got a big space here, which is where I was thinking of putting workbenches and things in this corner, where there really isn't, you know, the windows are for lighting really. We will, when we get our paper press set up, and we're going to do that today obviously, we will be able to then start making paper, and we'll be able to start making posters, which means that we're going to be able to start plastering images around the place to enable us to make things look more like other things. But for the moment, let's see if we can put our crafting benches where we really want them to go. So we've got 3 of those, and the saw bench is probably, oops, the biggest of those, isn't it? Let's just put that on G. Maybe the saw bench needs to go against this wall here. Yes, sort of there. And maybe the others can go here. We can perhaps put them, you know, sort of up against each other rather than having them. Let's try that. Let's try doing this. So I'm going to take G off actually, and we'll just experiment with this. We'll see if this works. So what I want to do is place that there, and then I want to see if I can put this sort of, not quite, but almost kind of clipping into it like that. The vice kind of gets in the way ever so slightly, doesn't it? Might be better off doing that the other way around, I'm not sure. There we go, that's kind of what I meant, just to see if we could get them all kind of, you know, occupying the same area, so it's like one continuous workbench, which perhaps looks a little bit more, I don't know, it looks a little bit more authentic somehow as well. And then what I might do is I might continue this on this sort of craft out of wood planks or something, a sort of a table of some description that comes out to here, so that is, you know, one continuous surface all the way around here. And then when we get images, what we'll do is we'll probably place images of tools around the outside of there, so they're sort of hanging off the wall as well. And then of course we've got our paper press, which is what's going to enable us to produce images, and I think perhaps that wants to go over in this corner here, or on this end by the wall. Let's see, does that, if we turn that around diagonally, is that going to be a good place to put it. We don't really want it clipping through the wall if we can help it. Let's try placing it there. I'm assuming it doesn't matter which way around this goes. Bang! There we are. We can use it from either direction. It looks pretty much the same. So there's our paper press. Fantastic. And then of course we've got some storage. Now this is going to be our interior storage. And I will just have that as well. We've got chests also actually. So maybe I'll put my some of this stuff outside. And we'll have the chests on the inside. So I'll have, I'm going to put a table there. Although it doesn't necessarily preclude having a chest under it. Nonetheless, let's see if we just turn this around. Storage here, perhaps. I could have G, use G for this. There we go. And we've got another chest, but I'm not sure if I'll use that for the moment. Let's just put these in this corner here. And I'll deliberately not use the grid so that we can make them look a little bit more random. There we go. And then maybe I'll have one of those barrels there as well. In the corner there. Lovely. Okay. And then we can keep things there. There's nothing stopping us putting signs around the place if we want to make it a little bit more obvious where we've put things as well. And then, yeah, outside storage. This is going to be a sort of a carpentry workshop and sort of, maybe I'll have to leave that until I've contrived our sort of saw. We want like an enormous sort of saw block kind of thing. I don't know what you'd call it, to be honest. I'm no carpenter, but a big kind of lumber horse type thing. And then sort of as if we've got let's just see if we can build something along those lines. See if I can show you kind of what I'm trying to think about here. I'm not sure if... Oh, I think that is not quite what I meant. There we go. Must have had shift lock on. We probably want something along those lines. And then we want it rather shorter than this. And what we probably want to do, let me just put that on G, because then I can see, apart from anything else, I can see where our, I can see kind of where our, how many blocks we have, and we probably want it a little bit shorter than that, actually. Oh, something like that, actually, probably. So let's try that. I'll place that there, I think. Then we need to do exactly the same thing in the opposite direction. Is that straight? It doesn't want to clip through, does it? Just to be annoying. I think that's straight though. So what we might have to do is, that's annoying. We're going to have to, oh, no, it will. There we go. Ah, it will. We just have to califudge it a little bit. Is that the right length? I believe so. There we are. And then we need to go over in this direction and do the same thing. From the same kind of space about there, is it? I believe so. And then see if we can fool it into doing the same thing in the opposite direction. There we are. Fantastic. So we've got two sort of X's, and then what we could do, and this is where I'm not sure. Let's just have a look and see if this is going to be possible. That's not the one. We want the block bench at this point. And what we want is probably something a little bit like that. Let's just have a little look, actually. Wood blocks. We want something that looks like bark. If we can possibly manage it, we need something on the outside that looks like bark. Now, we're probably not going to manage that. These are all far too, refined, obviously. We want something that looks like bark because we want something to look like a log. Which of these is going to look most like bark, do we think? Possibly that one there? Or possibly that one there? That just looks like really rough hewn wood, doesn't it? Okay, so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about making cylinders like that. And I think actually that one there is probably the nearest we're going to get. But I'm going to need to go and cut some trees down because I haven't got any logs left. I've turned it all into lumber. So I'm going to have to do that. And then yeah, we're going to have to make a few of those to do what it is we're trying to do here. So I'll go chop some trees down and hope it clears up by the time I get back. Where's my axe? I do have it here somewhere. There it is. And I will see you guys when I get back. Okay, well, I think we've got adequate lighting around here. The weather hasn't improved. It's still pretty dingy, to be honest. But here we go. So we're going to make a few of these. I'm actually going to make something like that, and we'll see how we go. Here they are. Now, this is the thing. There we go. But we can do it that way. Excellent. Okay, and this is kind of what I want to do. Now, the trouble is, can I even place it where I want to place it on here? G's no good, obviously. And I'm probably going to find that I can't place it on here. So, that's a shame. We're not going to be able to place one on here. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to have to do here is sort of somehow turn this into something that looks like a, yeah, that's not wanting to put it where I need it. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to rethink that one. What I might have to do is build, because these blocks, yeah, there's not much in the way of flexibility about where you can put them. So I might have to put this in first and then build, it's night time now, great. And then build the trestle underneath it so that we've got a log going across here. So I think that's what I'm probably going to have to do. But otherwise, what I want to do really is have a log pile here. And I think we probably want to have the logs going in this direction, or do we want to have them coming out in this direction? Maybe we should have them in this direction. I'm not sure. Let's just experiment with that and see what that's going to look like. So we're going to have our logs sort of about this length, I guess. What am I doing? I don't need to click and drag. We can, or rather I can click and drag. We can do that, and we can even have one of them a bit longer just to be, you know, a bit more random. Oops. If we want. And then what I would really like to do is place them, sort of pile them up on one another, but I don't know if I can actually do that because it won't put one in between kind of thing. The only thing it's going to do is that kind of thing and place them straight on top of one another. So we're just going to have to put up with that, I think. That's basically what I'm talking about there, is having a wood pile, a pile of tree trunks. And what we can do, perhaps, I can find an image of a sort of a cutaway of the rings of a tree and place that in there as well on the end of each, so that they look a little bit more loggy. But that is basically what we're doing there, and I will stack these up fairly high as well. That is what I will do. But for now, it looks like it's time to retire for the night, and yeah, we will look into what we can do with this in the morning, and we'll also get our paper press going so we can start making some posters. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, folks. We're back, and it's just occurred to me I didn't put my door in here, so we ought to do that, shouldn't we, really? That would make sense. And again, I'll have an interior opening door. It just strikes me that that's probably the right way around to do it. There we go. And open that up. Fantastic. Now, you can see I've completed the log pile here, but also what we've done is I've put in a floating log. So I didn't actually go to bed. I've been working all night to do this, but I have put in a floating log basically where it actually wanted to go, and we're going to see if we can place the frame to support it where it suits the log and not the other way around, which is backwards way around, I know. Okay, if we put that there, and then again, if we can just turn this round and put it facing the opposite direction, we'll be laughing. Is that going to be right? I believe so. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. And then we need to do the same thing on the other end. Kind of there. And then around the other way. There we go. And that's... yeah, that's near enough. That is near enough for my liking. And then what we also need to do then, we probably need to finish this off by joining these two together with a piece of timber. Why use one plank when two will do? There we are. So that's that. And then all we need is a great big saw. sticking out of the top of this thing. And heck, I wonder if we can do that, actually. It's being facetious, but hey, maybe we can do that with a plank. Who knows? Let's see. Let's just make that a little bit narrower, like kind of that, and a little bit longer, because what we need is a really long saw. And maybe, no, that's not quite what I meant. I was wondering if we could also place it. No, I don't think we can. I was wondering if we'd place it at a slight angle. We should be able to be quite honest, like that, for example. But I'm not sure if we want it on that much of an angle. Maybe we should. Okay, so we'll place that pretty much in the middle of our log, like so. Perhaps wants to be a little bit narrower, like that. How long is that? It is pretty long. And then what we want is to turn this part into the handles. So we need to make it, oh, let's just put that on a vertical, although it doesn't want to be quite on a vertical, of course. It wants to be on a bit of an angle. That's the right one, I think, there. And then a little bit shorter. There we go. And we kind of want a handle on each end of the saw. Probably something like that. It's quite difficult to see if I'm putting that on right. And I don't think... Oh, it is going to fit it on with G. Lovely. That's good. That's the best way of doing it then. Let's do that. And again, what we're going to need there is a saw image blade attached to that to make it look more like a saw. And I will try that. We'll see if that works, because that is basically what we want there. So that's fab. All this area here, I might just leave as dirt, or I might gravel it. You can see I've not got any further with the graveling there. That's because it takes a really long time, all that digging up stuff, and even just grinding the gravel. But I will do some more of that, and maybe I'll put gravel here, but it could be a bit of a nightmare with this. Wherever yeah, I don't know. It's difficult getting gravel to level to start with without dealing with bits where it's not particularly level, but I'll try. Okay, so we want to get our paper press in order, or working, and if I remember rightly, and this makes this a slightly weird place for it to be, and it'll be easier once we've got our tailors up and running later down the line. Oops, slight spoiler there. The paper press actually makes paper but out of cloth, so it's more like, I don't know, papyrus or something like that. So we need cloth first, and I'm not sure if we've got any cloth at the moment to actually use, because if we've got any at all, it'll be back here at our farmhouse. Because that's where our sort of loom and what have you is. So we'll go and check that out. I can see the fields coming on nicely as well. So we've got a loom there, and I'm sure in this chest I've placed some things. There we go, we've got some cloth there. And of course we can use this, we can put those down out of the way for the moment. We could use our spinning reel here. No, not the apple, this. There we go. We can use our spinning wheel to create some more spools of thread. And then spools of thread can be used on the loom to create cloth. There we go. So let's see how much cloth we can create here. And we could only make one because I didn't get my thread reels out of here, so we should be able to make a few more now. Let's just hit max. There we go. Now, we're not going to probably be able to make ever so much with this, but the other thing is that we need a bucket, and I can't quite remember where I put the bucket. Let's just see. I have a feeling it might be in here. Yay, there it is. Look, there's our bucket. Now, does it have water in it? I'm not going to find out, but yes, it does. It even has water in it, because we need water and we need cloth for our paper press. So we need our cloth in our hand, and we'll have to start storing these things here near to our paper press as well. So we're going to have to put these things in a barrel here, I think. Here's our cloth, so we can put cloth there. There we go. And then we have to... Gosh, let's try to remember how we do this. We have to press it, and then I think if we take the press up, we then have rags, and then we have to apply water, There we go, and then we press again, and that should give us 4 lots of paper, I think. Yay, there we go. That should give us 4 lots of paper. Okay, there we go, and then we can rinse and repeat. But we'll add a water to it again, and it doesn't seem to be using up my bucket of water either, which is a bit weird. Maybe it's because I put a full bucket into the chest that it doesn't get used up. I'm not sure. Anyway, there we go. So we can put this in here for the moment. For want of a better place to put it, I'm going to put my cloth here. Wool, I don't think we really need there, do we? I shall put that back in the farmhouse, I think. And then we do have some paper here. And can we make, with our paper, the first thing we're probably going to want to make is a map, isn't it? And I'm not quite sure. I can't remember how we do that. Let's just go see if I can make it from here. It's been a while since I made a map. Here we go. Yay. So we've got ourselves a map now, which means we're going to be able to find our way around and plan and sort of add our village to the map. So we'll be able to see it from the top view. And then we're going to see if we can craft some posters. And they are they in miscellaneous or are they somewhere? They're here, look. There we go. Craft, max. There is no room in your inventory. Of course there isn't. So I'm going to have to offload some stuff. Now, obviously, I've got logs here. And the obvious thing to do is to put the logs I have remaining in there. And possibly the lumber in the smaller one there. And then I've got some various other things as well. That chest I think I might save for somewhere else. This barrel I think would probably look fairly good if I just shoved it there like that, and then if I put, we might be able to put a crate or something, or maybe some more barrels, I don't know, but anyway, there we go. That can act as like a kind of a drop box for us. Okay, and then we should have, oh, I picked up an apple sapling while I was gathering wood as well, I must remember about that. And then we've got a little bit more lumber here. There we go. And then we should be able to make these posters. So let's see, how many can we make? 6. There we are. Lovely. So what I've got, we'll just do this as a finishing kind of touch. I've got some, let's just get that backspace. I want it a little bit thicker than that. And then we need it on the vertical like this, and this is basically going to be like a batten for attaching tools to, and we're going to have a few of these, so I'll just, no, not thicker, that's probably thick enough, and we'll have it a little bit longer so it sort of more fills that space. There we go. If we use G, it'll sort of sink it into the wall a little bit as well, so we'll put that there, and then we'll put another one there. That's great. And then I might put one there as well, but before I do that, I'm going to make the table I talked about, so we'll effectively extend this bench out to there, and I might do that off camera. But for now, we've got a poster, and we need to see if we can place our first posters. So there's a couple of things we want to do. I'm going to have to craft the end of logs. I'm going to die here. I need to see if I can make myself a canteen, really, don't I? Oh, I can't access that from here. Go on. Drink, woman. That's better. There we go. I will do that off camera because I haven't prepared that yet, and the same with the saw blades, so we'll see if that works by the next episode. But for now, we're going to see if we can get some carpentry tools on these battens here and make this place look like it's got the tools for the job. There we go, and we can probably put that sort of at that end there. Now we could probably change the size of this as well, can't we? And the angle of it ever so slightly if we want to. So we'll just scale it up a little, and it looks like it wants to be on that kind of an angle without being too distorted, so I'll place that there, and then we'll see if we can get a similar effect. We'll put a couple of more tools on there. There we go, and this one looks a little bit distorted possibly, so maybe I'll try and straighten it out a little bit like that. And we'll put that in the middle, and then we'll put one more thing maybe. There we go. And again, it looks kind of like it needs to be adjusted ever so slightly, and we'll place that there. And then we probably want some, I don't know, things that look like planes and what have you as well. So maybe I'll put a shelf here rather than, I'll put a shelf there, I think, and then we can place planes on it and such, and that will look pretty good, I reckon. But yeah, I think for now that's not bad going, and we're going to be able to make some more posters now, which means that I'm going to be able to start applying images to all of our builds. As I say, I will be doing some image searching online as usual. I will try and get some logins in on there, because I think that's going to make all the difference there. I'll see if I can get a saw blade for that so it looks more like a saw. And then just replacing kind of rugs on floors and sort of images of clutter on shelves and things. I think that's going to be invaluable. So there you go, folks. The only thing that remains really is to place the sign for our smithy, and I think, if I remember correctly, we did have a sign which I'd saved up here. I've also got one more pole, and I'm going to do this for want of a better way of doing it for the moment, just like I've done this one. So we're going to start out with the pole, and we should probably put it here, shouldn't we? I said I'm going to start with a pole. Okay, which we're going to make somewhat thinner, like that, and then we want to make it shorter as well, don't we? Probably about that length is right. And then we've got, whoops, this, which we need, there we go, and we've got that. Let's see, if I G, it doesn't really work. Okay, I can't quite remember how I did this last time. I may just have had to fiddle about until, actually I think I can remember how I did this last time. It's quite aggravating. Basically, the only way it actually wants to go there is if you have two of them and you hang one off the other. So that is sort of annoying. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to do that. Unless I can hang them off another piece of wood, but I haven't got one of those for the moment, so we'll just place that there. And then I'm going to have to make another sign, which is annoying. It will actually hang down then, because it's kind of hanging off the old sign. So there we are. And then we have to remove the first, but we should be able to do that with, maybe I can remove it by removing sign. There we go. So we don't actually have to waste it, which is good, because that means that we're going to be able to use it for another build. Now I know why I had a spare in the first place. Okay, so here we go. We're going to place this here. And for want of a better word, we're just going to call it the village carpentry workshop. There we go. And there we are. We can change that if it looks a little bit strange. But if any of you guys has got any bright ideas about what to call any of our builds, like, you know, whatever, smithy, whatever, carpentry, like, for example, if you want to invent a, you know, a fictitious carpenter or builder or whatever, or maybe what I should just do is name each of these after a sub. I could name every building after a sub. That would be pretty cool, actually, you know. So I'm up for that, actually. So I'll watch out for whoever's making comments, and whoever's making comments there, I will think about naming some of my buildings after you guys, because I think that's going to be a pretty cool way of dealing with this, actually. Even if they're not necessarily going to be particularly medieval sounding names, I think it's a good way of appreciating the support that you guys give me. So again, folks, I hope you liked this episode. I hope you like how this is sort of turning out. Personally, I think it's looking pretty cool. I like that a lot. I'm going to get my image on now and start putting posters around where we really need them. So don't forget, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also feel free to leave me some comments, particularly if you want your name to be considered for one of the buildings. We've not got very many buildings to name so far. We've just got the 3, but there's going to be a whole heap more than that by the time we're done. And I do hope that you'll stick with me for the journey. So until the next episode, guys, keep gaming, keep surviving, and stay happy. Bye bye for now.